Hello everyone, welcome to the Ahdurin region. I'm your host, Ahdurin himself, and today we are going to be playing a game that I have been wanting to play for an extremely long time. I've been having this game since the summer, and it's just kind of been sitting there waiting for me to have time to sit down and properly record gameplay for it. And so here we are, the very first game of the Ace Attorney Phoenix Wright series. It's a very popular game. I feel like many of you may know it. Before I begin, I'm just going to go over the quick ground rules of how these type of videos are going to work in case you haven't seen my type of videos before. I do a lot of voices and voice acting and other things like that for different characters. If you like that, that's great. If you don't like that, watch the video on mute, I guess. I'm not really sure. I do a lot of voices and stuff like that because I find it better for the story instead of just reading in the same monotone type of voice. Also, the Ace Attorney games have amazing music, and at the very beginning of different music periods, I'm typically not going to talk for the first couple of seconds just to let you guys really get that music sort of feel. This is the very first time that I am playing through these games. While I know the plot lines kind of the different games, I am not as confident about what to do to get to the said plot lines. So with that said, you're going to be watching basically the first time somebody goes and pretends to be a defense attorney. So without further ado, before I begin, actually one more thing I want to mention. If you're watching this, please do not leave any spoilers in the comment section below. I already know the plots, more or less, of the different stories, but for somebody that's watching through this and doesn't want it spoiled for them, please don't spoil it. I would greatly appreciate that. That would include the whatever happens in this episode as well. My idea is that each episode is roughly half an hour long. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing each case as its own full episode or if I split it down. My expectation is that for each case, I'll be splitting it into roughly half-hour, 40-minute episodes and working from there. I'm also the type of person, I'm sorry for all of this, I'm also the type of person that goes and reads all the dialogue, or as much dialogue as I can. So this is a very immersive experience, I guess you could say, inside the game. So without further ado, we shall begin with a brand new game. So let's get started. Episode 1, the first turnabout.
Damn it. Why me? I can't get caught. Not like this. I've got to find someone to pin this on. Someone like him. I'll make it look like he did it.
August 3rd, 9:47 a.m. District Court. Defendant Lobby number 2.
Boy, am I nervous. Right? Oh, hiya, Chief. Phew. I'm glad I made it on time. Well, I have to say, Phoenix, I'm impressed. Not everyone takes on a murder trial right off the bat like this. It says a lot about you, and your client as well. Thanks. Actually, it's because I owe him a favor.
A favor? You mean you knew the defendant before this case?
Yeah. Actually, I kinda owe my current job to him. He's one of the reasons I became an attorney. Well, that's news to me. I want to help him out any way I can. I just really want to help him. I owe him that much.
It's over! My life, everything, it's over!
Isn't that your client screaming over there? Yeah, that's him.
Death, despair, oh! I'm gonna do it! I'm gonna die!
It sounds like he wants to die.
Well, gee, thanks.
Yeah.
Nick! I'm so guilty. Tell him I'm guilty. Give me the death sentence. I ain't afraid to die. Good Lord, what does Larry do?
What? What's wrong, Larry?
Oh, it's all over. I'm finished. Finished. I can't live in a world without her. I can't. Who took her away from me, Nick? Who did this? Oh, Nick, you gotta tell me. Who took my baby away? Okay, listen, calm. I'm a defense attorney. I am not a detective. Maybe. I don't know.
The person responsible for your girlfriend's death. The newspapers say it was you. My name is Phoenix Wright. Here's the story. My first case is a fairly simple one. A young woman was killed in her apartment. The guy they arrested was the unlucky sap dating her, Larry Butts, my best friend since grade school. Our school had a saying, when something smells, it's usually the Butts. In the 23 years I've known him, it's usually been true. He has a knack for getting himself in trouble. One thing I can say, though, it's usually not his fault. He just has terrible luck. But I know better than anyone that he's a good guy at heart. That, and I owe him one, which is why I took the case, to clear his name. And that's just what I'm going to do.
August 3rd, 10 a.m. District Courtroom. Courtroom number 2. The court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Larry Butts.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright, this is your first trial, is it not?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm, a little nervous.
Your conduct during this trial will decide the fate of your client. Murder is a serious charge. For your client's sake, I hope you can control your nerves.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright, given the circumstances, I think we should have a test to discern your readiness.
Yes, Your Honor. Okay, hands shaking, eyesight fading. Alright, Phoenix, calm down. You got this. You got this. Let's go.
The test will consist of a few simple questions. Answer them clearly and concisely. Please state the name of the defendant in this case. Alright, cool. So there's Phoenix Wright, Larry Butts, and Mia Fey. Clearly it's not me. Clearly it's not Mia. It's Larry. But what I do want to see is if I can activate... Okay, so there's a courtroom section. Also think of this as kind of like a walkthrough, I guess, because that's kind of what it is. So if you go into the courtroom section, it seems like you have the different evidences and the different profiles over here. So let's see, we've got the attorney's badge. So this is one of my things. No one would believe I was a defense attorney if I didn't carry this. And then Cindy's autopsy report from Mia. So it looks like time of death, was July 31st from 4 to 5 p.m. Cause of death, loss of blood due to blunt trauma. Never fun. Let's see, we go to the profiles. We've got Mia Fey, age 27, gender female. She's the chief attorney at Fey & Co. and is my boss apparently, because I am playing as Phoenix Wright. A very good defense attorney. Cool. Nice to see that my boss is a good defense attorney. Larry Butts, I've known him for 23 years, and he's 23 years old, so apparently we knew each other from the moment we were born. 23 male, the defendant in this case, a likable guy who was my friend in grade school. And then there's Cindy Stone, 22, female. Victim in this case, a model. She lived in the apartment by herself. So apparently Larry was dating a model. Alright, you do you. Winston Payne, looks like the prosecutor. 52, male. Lacks presence, generally bad at getting his points across. Well, at least I'm going against a guy who's not good. Cool. And then, yeah, so that goes back to the evidence section as well. So, as we obviously know, now, I forget if I mentioned this in the very beginning of the episode, but I'm going to play through this as accurately as possible, or at least what I think is accurate. If you guys are interested in me playing through or showing different parts that are, hey, this is what happens when you go through it completely dumb, go ahead and tell me, and I will definitely do so. But right now, this is a playthrough, a normal playthrough for the first time playing through this game. I'm going to try to be accurate. I'm 110% sure that Larry is the defendant that I'm representing in this case, so we're going to go with that.
The defendant? Well, that's Larry Butts, Your Honor.
Correct. Just keep your wits about you and you'll do fine. Next question. This is a murder trial. Tell me, what's the victim's name?
Ooh, I know this one. Glad I read the case report cover to cover so many times. It's... Wait. Uh-oh.
Come on, I just opened it up.
No, wait. I forgot. I'm drawing a total blank here. Phoenix, are you absolutely sure you're up to this? You don't even know the victim's name? Oh, the victim! The victim. I thought you said the hitman or something like that. Of course I know the victim's name. I, just forgot. Temporarily. I think I feel a migraine coming on. Look, the defendant's name is listed in the court record.
Oh, okay, so this is where they tell you what the court record is.
Just touch the court record button to check it anytime, okay? Remember to check it often. Do it for me, please. I'm begging you.
Let's hear your answer. Who is the victim in this case?
Alright, well, since we already looked at it, we know it's Cindy Stone. I like how there's cinder block and NDFA. Cool. So it is Cindy Stone.
The victim's name is Cindy Stone.
Correct. Now tell me, what was the cause of death? She died because she was?
Well, as we remember, she got hit with something. Definitely not poisoned, definitely not strangled. So, hit with a blunt object is the answer.
She was struck once by a blunt object.
Correct. You've answered all of my questions. I see no reason why we shouldn't proceed. You seem much more relaxed, Mr. Wright. Good for you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Because I don't feel relaxed, that's for sure.
Well then, first, a question for the prosecution. Mr. Payne?
Yes, Your Honor.
As Mr. Wright just told us, the victim was struck with a blunt object. Would you explain to the court just what that object was?
The murder weapon was this statue of the Thinker. It was found lying on the floor next to the victim.
I see. The court accepts it into evidence.
Cool, so apparently we get to add that Thinker statue into the court record. Cool. Nice to see.
Right? Be sure to pay attention to any evidence added during the trial. That evidence is the only ammunition you have in court. Touch the court record button to check the court record frequently.
Cool. I wonder if... I've always wondered this in games where, like, press the A button or something like that. If there's actually a button that they see, like, in front of their desk or something, there's just a button that says court record, and if you smash that button, all like, you get a pop-up of all the, like, court record evidence and profiles and stuff like that. That must be how they do it, obviously. If they're telling me to press a button. Maybe that's a button.
Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its first witness.
The prosecution calls the defendant, Mr. Butts, to the stand. Chief, what do I do now?
Pay attention. You don't want to miss any information that might help your client's case. You'll get your chance to respond to the prosecution later, so be ready. Let's just hope he doesn't say anything unfortunate.
Uh-oh. Larry gets excited easily. This could be bad. Ahem. Mr. Butts, is it not true that the victim had recently dumped you?
Hey, watch it, buddy. We were great together. We were Romeo and Juliet, Cleopatra and Mark Anthony.
No, I'm not exactly a literature major, but didn't they all die?
I wasn't dumped. She wasn't taking my phone calls or seeing me, ever. That doesn't mean I wasn't dumped.
What's it to you anyway?
Mr. Butts, what you describe is generally what we mean by dumped. I would know. I have experience. I mean nothing. I didn't say anything. In fact, she had completely abandoned you and was seeing other men. She had just returned from overseas with one of them the day before the murder.
What do you mean, one of them? Lies, all of it, lies. I don't believe a word of it.
Your Honor, the victim's passport. According to this, she was in Paris until the day before she died.
Now we have the passport. Cool. I'll look at that in a bit. Indeed. She appears to have returned the day before the murder. No way.
The victim was a model, but did not have a large income. It appears that she had several, what they call in the business, sugar daddies, apparently involving sugar and father figures.
Daddies? Sugars? Sugar daddies? Daddy sugars?
Yes, older men who gave her money and gifts. She took their money and used it to support her lifestyle. Obviously, buying things that are useful for her.
Dude.
We can clearly see what kind of woman this Miss Stone was. Tell me, Mr. Butts, what do you think of her now?
Oh, no. Pain. Butts. Listen, Larry, calm down.
Right? I don't think you want him to answer that question.
Yeah, Larry has a way of running his mouth in all of the wrong directions. Should I
wait and see what happens, or stop him from answering? What I do know about the Ace Attorney games is that sometimes things matter, and I'm worried that this might matter. Since I don't want him to answer, I'm not stopping him from answering. Let's stop this.
My client had no idea the victim was seeing other men. That question is irrelevant to this case.
Ooh, I got the finger pointing and everything. That was not oof.
Dude, Nick, what do you mean irrelevant? That cheating she-dog.
Ooh, Larry.
I'm gonna die. I'm just gonna drop dead. Yeah, when I meet her in the afterlife, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this.
Oh, crap, Larry.
Let's continue with the trial, shall we?
I believe the accused's motive is clear to everyone.
Yes, quite.
Oh boy, this is so not looking good. Next question. You went to the victim's apartment on the day of the murder, did you not? Well, did you or did you not?
Well, maybe I did, and maybe I didn't.
Oh, you went. What do?
Might as well have him answer honestly at this point.
I know. I'll send him a signal.
You see, that's the signal right there, guys. If you see someone doing this in regular life, they're saying tell the truth, honestly.
Yeah, I was there. I went.
Order! Well, Mr. Butts.
Dude, chill. She wasn't home, man, so I didn't see her. Your Honor, the defendant is lying.
Lying? That can happen in a courtroom?
The prosecution would like to call a witness who can prove Mr. Butts is lying.
Well, that simplifies matters. Who is your witness?
The man who found the victim's body just before making the gruesome discovery. He saw the defendant fleeing the scene of the crime.
Oh, this audience is lit. I feel terrible for saying the word lit. I apologize for all of my past actions and all of my future actions for saying that word. Anyway,
Order! Order in the court! Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its witness.
Yes, Your Honor. This is bad. On the day of the murder, my witness was selling newspapers at the victim's building. Please bring Mr. Frank Sawit to the stand.
I was gonna say the class, which is clearly not right.
Mr. Sawit, you sell newspaper subscriptions. Is this correct?
Oh, yes. Newspapers, yes. Mr. Sawit, you may proceed with your testimony. Please tell the court what you saw on the day of the murder.
Alright, so witness testimony time. Let's get this underway.
I was going door to door selling subscriptions when I saw a man fleeing an apartment.
I'm gonna listen to music for a bit.
I thought he must be in a hurry because he left the door half open behind him. Thinking it strange, I looked inside the apartment.
I apologize for that. I had lighting issues.
Then I saw her there, lying there, a woman not moving, dead.
I already forgot what type of list I gave him. Alright, hold up.
I quailed in fright and found myself unable to go inside. I thought to call the police immediately. However, the phone in her apartment wasn't working. I went to a nearby park and found a public phone. I remember the time exactly. It was 1 p.m. The man who ran was, without a doubt, the defendant sitting right over there.
Alright, so that's some testimony right there.
Larry, why didn't you tell the truth? I can't defend you against a testimony like that.
Incidentally, why wasn't the phone in the victim's apartment working?
Your Honor, at the time of the murder, there was a blackout in the building.
Aren't phones supposed to work during a blackout? I have one of those, what do you call, Nokias or something?
Yes, Your Honor. However, some cordless phones do not function normally. This is an earlier age before the idea of Apple and Samsung. The phone that Mr. Sawit used was one of those. Your Honor, I have a record of the blackout for your perusal.
Don't use words I don't understand. Alright, cool. We got the blackout record.
Now, Mr. Wright,
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
you may begin your cross-examination.
Cross-examination, Your Honor?
Alright, Wright. This is it. The real deal.
What exactly am I supposed to do?
Why, you expose the lies in the testimony the witness just gave.
Lies? He was lying?
Your client is innocent, right? And that witness must have lied in his testimony. Or is it your client really guilty?
How do I prove that he's not?
You hold the key. It's in the evidence. Compare the witness's testimony to the evidence at hand. There's bound to be a contradiction in there. First, find contradictions between the court record and the witness's testimony. Then, once you've found the contradicting evidence, present it and rub it in the witness's face.
Ooh, Mia. Alright.
Okay.
Touch the court record button and point out contradictions in the testimony.
Cross-examination time. Alright. Let's get going. Alright, so I'm not going to read what he says again. So, my main idea is of how I do this is, if you can see the different statements are there, what I plan on doing is pressing every time just to learn more about what the situation is. This isn't exactly the most accurate thing. Or it's not accurate. It will be very accurate. It is a lot of time consuming, but I'm a guy that likes to read all this stuff. So,
Isn't the man leaving an apartment a common sight? I find it odd you would take notice of him.
I don't know. He just seems so strange to me, that's all. Like he was mad, and yet frightened at the same time. Just like a criminal fleeing the scene of a crime.
The defense requests that the witness refrain from conjecture. Of course, what the witness means is that the man he saw looked suspicious. So, what happened next?
Okay.
Half open, you say?
Yes, the door was open halfway, yes. I watched for a moment, but no one came to close the door. That's all, in a big city like this, I thought.
I see. And what happened next? What gave you the idea to do that?
Well, the door was half open, you see. Isn't it only human to want to peek? We climb mounts because they are there. It's the same thing.
Truer words have never been spoken. Anyone would look inside.
No, I can think of a bunch of people that would not look inside. I would assume half the people watching right now probably wouldn't look inside. I would not look inside. If the door's open, the door's open. I don't know.
Why did Payne cut him off so quickly? So you looked into the apartment. What happened then?
You saw a woman lying there, not me.
Are you sure she was dead?
But, well, no, I guess I wasn't. But she wasn't moving at all, and there was blood everywhere.
I guess that would look fatal to anyone. Very well. What happened next?
Bill and Wright unable to go inside.
So, you didn't touch anything in the apartment?
Yes. I mean, no, nothing.
Okay. What happened next?
Call the police immediately.
You thought to call the police? Does that mean you didn't actually call them? Please, listen to the rest of the testimony. You thought to call the police. What happened next?
I apologize, I keep changing some of their voices. And all of this, I'm going to point out, is just an excuse to hear again and again.
The phone in her apartment wasn't working?
Yes. I mean, no, it wasn't, right.
But you said you didn't go into the apartment, or did you?
Oh, that. I can explain that. There was a cordless phone on the shelf in the entranceway. I reached inside and tried using that to call.
And that phone wasn't working, correct? What happened next?
Alright, so you went to a public park and got a phone.
Why use a public phone?
Well, you see, I don't have a cell phone. And being the middle of the afternoon, there was no answer at the nearby apartments.
Right. What time did you call again?
I remember the time exactly, it was 1 p.m.
1 p.m. Are you certain?
Yes, absolutely.
He seems really confident.
1 p.m.? Right. Doesn't that seem strange to you? Present some evidence to contradict him.
Alright, so clearly Mia has some factoid over here. But I'm gonna go look at the next one right here real quick, just to see.
Are you absolutely 100% positive?
Yes, it was him. No mistake about it.
The witness says he's certain.
Alright, so clearly Mia was talking about some mistake or something over here. The time being 1 p.m. So there has to be some evidence here that contradicts that. While we're here, we might as well look at this stuff that we haven't looked at yet. So the statue over here, in the shape of the thinker, it's rather heavy. And it's a weapon that was the murder weapon. There's the passport, saying that she arrived home on the 30th of July, the day before the murder. She came from Paris. And the blackout record from noon to 6 p.m. on the day of the crime. That fits with the 1 p.m. thing, but the autopsy report here clearly states that it has to be between 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. It's 1 p.m. This is incorrect. Ooh, I got you. Time to stretch out those muscles. All right, let's go.
You found the body at 1 p.m. You're certain? You're sure? That's what the line says?
Yes, it was 1 p.m. for certain.
Frankly, I find that hard to believe.
Ooh, you know you got him now when this music pops up.
Your statement directly contradicts the autopsy report. The autopsy notes the time of death as sometime after 4 p.m. There was no body defined at 1 p.m. How do you explain this 3-hour gap? This is trivial. The witness merely forgot the time.
After his testimony, I find that hard to believe. Mr. Sort, why were you so certain that you found the body at 1 p.m.?
Gee, that's a really good question.
Great job, Wright. Way to put him on the spot. That's all you have to do. Point out contradictions. Lies always beget more lies. See through one, and the whole story falls apart.
That's it. It's all over. Larry's innocent. I mean, wait.
Wait, I remember now. Would you care to give your testimony again?
Time of discovery. Alright, so we'll hear the witness's testimony on the next episode. This is a good place to stop. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting the Ahdurin region in any way, shape, or form that you do. And until next time.
Objection!
What are you thinking, Frank? What are you thinking?